Welcome to my review, starring the Swedish wilderness, starring my fellow woods companion Bolt, and the TRC. This is freedom. This is going to be one nice review, hopefully, and well, let's get going. So this is the star of this video. The TRC, this is freedom. I'm not gonna do a whole lot of talking about this knife right now, but I wanted this video to start off with something a tad bit nicer than your typical unboxing at the desk. That will of course be included in the video, but I prefer to sometimes show the knife in a somewhat more nice environment. Sure, this knife could work as a pure collector's item, but I personally kind of prefer to use it a bit more. It's long overdue, this video review. Long overdue. But, as they say, better late than never, right? Can we see the serial number? Should read 459. I'm really late to this party. Look at that full height grind. It's nice. Very nice. We're gonna have a lot of fun trying this one out. Just need to get the unboxing part done. Some sharpness tests, and then we are good to go. Look at that fit and finish. Well, let's get going with this video review. Let's get going. So, time for some unboxing action, which is probably not going to be the most exciting part of this video, but I do want to include it as always. And I've done, I think, 4 TRC knives reviews this far, and I've done unboxings in all of them. So I started off with the Apocalypse, then I went with the South Pole, then I picked up the Mil Curie as the 3rd one, and the Classic Freedom as my 4th one. And now it is time for This is Freedom. And as always, you get the same kind of, packaging or box design. One of the more nice designs, or in fact probably the nicest box for a knife that I have ever experienced. So let's open it up and see what we have here. So first off, you get a so like this, by the way. You get your TRC knives sticker. Always, nice. Some people appreciate it more than others, I believe, but it is a nice thing to include in the box. You also get some ballistol or ballistic oil to clean the knife and to prevent corrosion, etc. This knife is in M390, so I think corrosion won't be one of the bigger issues with this one, but it is a nice oil to clean your knives with. In fact, I'm gonna show it right away here. I usually buy one of these spray cans of ballistic oil, which is pretty handy. You can also buy like this, more concentrated oil. Also pretty good. I'm not being sponsored in any way by Ballistol, and I don't think that TRC knives get sponsored either, but it is a good oil for for a lot of stuff. When they call it universal, they mean universal. Anyway, back to the unboxing again. So as always, you get a small booklet. I mean, you get it with every knife, but with some specific information about the model included. This being that this is Freedom. So let's take a quick look here. Let's just open this one up here. You get some information about Andreas Tritius, who is the designer, founder, maker of TRC knives. You get some information about the specific model, the intended use, etc. Some thoughts about the design. Moving on, you get, I think this is a continuation of the thoughts about the design and purpose and intended use. Moving on, we get to the maintenance, how to take care of your knife. Stuff like that. Moving on, some more information about I guess like the materials and stuff, exactly, stuff like that. Moving on, some information about the lifetime warranty. And last but not least you get the final page which is the certificate of authenticity. Here you get some of the specifications for your specific knife, including the serial number. You can also see they specify the steel, the handle material, and the date that the knife was made or manufactured. So that is what you get from the booklet. Moving on here, we have the actual knife itself. Let's see if we can remove it. So, quite a sturdy box. And here we have the knife. I think the lighting condition in this room is not the best, so, but it is what it is. You get this one in a nice and sturdy leather sheath and with a attached dangler, or belt holder. I would just call it dangler, to be honest. I used a dangler of my own for the Classic Freedom sheath because there was no dangler attached to that sheath, but here you get it included from the get-go, which is a nice thing because I really like this pouch design sheath which with a dangler. So that is really good in my opinion. Really, sturdy, durable leather, always nice. I think this one can also be ordered. This mod can also be ordered with a Kydex sheath, should you prefer that. And the same goes for the Classic Freedom as well. It comes with a leather sheath by default or as a standard, but you can order it with a Kydex sheath as well. So let's remove the knife now. Here is the Classic Freedom. Oh, sorry. This is Freedom. Although the knives do share some similarities, they are also a bit different in their designs and uses. I really hate it that the lighting conditions aren't better here, but I'm happy that I, as always, decided to start off this entire video review with this knife in a better context, or in a better context that better shows the details of the knife. So let's take a quick look at the specs here. I mean, I did include the specs in text format in the beginning of the video, but it's always nice to go over them like this as well. So we have an overall length of 24 centimeters or 240 millimeters. We have a blade length of 118 millimeters, so almost 12 centimeter in blade length. The blade thickness of this one is, let's see if we can get a bit closer up here as well, perhaps, is 3.4 millimeters. The weight of the knife is 145 grams, and the steel used for this model is M390. The handle material for this one is natural canvas micarta, but it's also being offered in black canvas micarta. The finish of the blade is, as can be seen, a nice satin finish. There is no jimping on this one. There is jimping on the Classic Freedom, but there is no jimping on This is Freedom. That is a bit of a difference. It is also a full height grind here, also different compared to the Classic Freedom, which was not a full height grind. And much like the Classic Freedom, this Freedom also has a rounded spine. Smooth, nice, rounded spine. And talking about size, let's put it in my hand like this. I have size 10 in gloves, so I have, you know, somewhat large hands. Easily, you know, full finger grip, as you can see, quite comfortable. And as often as it is with knives from TRC, I can tell you right away that this knife will not give me any, you know, pain or hot spots in any way. The ergos is fantastic. Then again, I mean, I've said this before, I'm quite sure, probably in all of my previous reviews, but I find TRC knives to make some of the most comfortable ergonomical knives out there. It just works and it feels great. So I think that's it for the unboxing and for the specs, at least for now. So as always, we're gonna put this one to the test. We're gonna do a lot of different stuff and see how it holds up. I'm quite sure it will hold up just as well as all the previous models that I've tried, but I really wanna, you know, test it out regardless. I think we're gonna start off, as always, with some random sharpness tests before doing more, you know, real practical work with it. Over and out from the unboxing part. Here on the table are the three models that I find to be relevant to compare a bit and talk a little bit about. I'm not gonna lie here, the South Pole is probably my favorite knife made by TRC Knives. It is, in my opinion, a super tough knife. Really versatile, easy to bring along, it's light, but its size does not limit it in any real sense. So that is why it is one of my top picks. I also like the ergonomics. I think this is, for me, this is probably the perfect knife. That being said, there are other designs that excel in other areas, and this is still you know, compared to, let's say, the Classic Freedom, there is still quite a difference in size and weight, and, you know, with the steel properties as well. Let's see. So what I really like about this one is the finger groove. It just works. It was my main concern when I got the knife, but turned out to be one of the biggest pros of the knife. I also like the jimping on the spine here. I like the blade profile. There's in fact not a lot that I dislike about this knife. But it is quite a bit thicker, for better or worse, depending on your preferences. If you compare it to the Classic Freedom or the This is Freedom. This one is not like a full height grind, but it is a high grind, none the least. But if you compare these two. I think a lot of people debate which one to get. Should I go with the Classic Freedom? Should I go with the This is Freedom? What are the pros? What are the cons? As I mentioned before, or maybe I didn't mention it, but I will mention it now. So first off, the Classic Freedom is of course the larger knife. You get more handle space with the This is Freedom. You also get a slightly thicker handle due to the thicker blade stock or spine thickness, but also due to slightly thicker scales as well. Let's see here. On the Classic Freedom, you get some light jimping here on the spine. There is no jimping on the This is Freedom. And at first I felt like I kind of wanted this light jimping here. And I'm not sure really how much I miss it now. I got a knife yesterday, so I'm still debating, do I want a light jimping or not? I have not entirely made up my mind about that yet. But I will say that I really appreciate the light jimping here, because it gives you that extra grip. So, I'm not really a guy that, I want jimping on all my knives, etc. It's not like that. Sometimes I think that jimping is unnecessary. Sometimes it's too aggressive. Sometimes it's not, it's not aggressive or rough at all. It's pretty much pointless, just, purely from an aesthetics view. But in this case, I don't know. Do I want a jimping or not? I can't really make up my mind. It kind of looks nicer without the jimping in a way, but from a user standpoint, I don't know. Maybe I wouldn't have minded some jimping on this one. Next up, aside from the obvious that you get a lot of more blade length with the This is Freedom, this one is a full height grind. Compared to this one, which has a high grind of sorts. So this one should be the better slicer, the better kitchen knife out of the two. And I know some people said like, well, why didn't they, go with full height grind on the Classic Freedom? And perhaps no jimping on this one and, like adding jimping to this one instead. And I have no, obvious answer to that, but I do trust Andrews and his designs 100%. But I will admit, I was also curious as to why they went full height grind with this one. Then again, this will probably be a knife that I use a lot for food prep and stuff like that. So that's gonna, probably prove to be quite useful as a full height grind. Would I have had a problem with this one being ground the same way as the Classic Freedom? Probably not, to be honest. But it's not, it's just a reflection of others and of myself as well. So anyway, both of these knives are made in M390, which is, like I already stated several times, a highly corrosion resistant steel with great or pretty much superb edge retention. But should you manage to dull this knife or to chip it or anything like that, I haven't managed to do that yet with my Classic Freedom. But if you should manage to do that, you will have to work, hard to get that edge back. So that is probably one of the few downsides. Another downside should probably be that this is not, as tough as LMAX or especially any other tool steel at that. So they all, the knives have different pros and cons in design, in materials, blade steels, grinds, etc. But once again, which knife should you choose of these two? And I don't have a universal answer to that just yet. I will have to spend some time with the This is Freedom to better get to know the knife and how it works and performs. But I will say that I have really enjoyed the classic Freedom due to its general design and how light the knife is. It's almost not noticeable when carrying it. And I will say that this is Freedom is obviously it is a bit heavier, and you feel that when you compare it to such a small knife. And as I said, in regards of the sheath for these two knives, with the This is Freedom, you get this sheath with the dangler attached here, which I really like. That's a good thing. And with the classic Freedom, you get a sheath without a dangler, but I decided to add one myself. So I mean, I solved that problem of sorts, and it's an easy problem to solve, of course. So, but and such. So I can tell you that both of these knives are comfortable. They're sharp. They will perform, I'm quite sure. And I think much is going to be up to personal preferences in terms of what kind of grind you like. Do you prefer jimping, or do you prefer something more smooth? Do you need a longer handle? Like I said, size 10 in gloves, lots of handle material or handle space. Then again, the classic Freedom once again. It's not like I'm running out of space in any way here. I've never had any issues with hot spots or anything like that. So handle length might not be the deal breaker in any way for this particular or these two particular designs. But I think you're gonna know better yourself if you want a slightly thicker blade spine, or if you need that extra cutting length. So I mean, it's gonna be up to personal preferences for sure. Both knives will of course perform. So I'm not sure if I'm really helping out here with this comparison, but I'm just trying to point out some of the differences and some of the similarities between these two models. And if you know for sure that you need something even thicker in blade thickness, or that you prefer a finger groove or a bit bigger or rougher jimping, etc., then maybe the Southpaw is more of a relevant knife to you. And if you need something even bigger, well, then you're gonna have to take a look at the Apocalypse or the Mille Curie, but those knives are quite different from these. I will mention that there is also a TRC knife that is called the K1S. I don't have it, but I would place it somewhere in between these two. It is a slightly smaller version, really slightly smaller version than the Southpaw. I'm sure I will pick it up sometime in the future, but since I really like the Southpaw, I felt like I didn't have the full need for the K1S right now. It wasn't a prioritized model, not in the same sense as the This is Freedom was, because I want my knives to complete each other's, so to say. But hopefully you have gotten a sort of a better understanding of these three models and how they work, or which will work best for you and your knife preferences. So this is it for the comparison segment. Let's head out and let's start doing real stuff with the This is Freedom. Time for the sharpness test. So there are a few different types of paper. So I'm gonna go with some magazine paper. I'm gonna go with some envelopes, some post-it papers, some notebook papers, and some newspaper. This could be probably the most challenging stuff, papers. So let's see how sharp the knife is out of the box, so to say. And I think we should start with, maybe it doesn't matter too much what we start with, but we can start with the magazine paper here. Regular magazine paper, not much to say about it, to be honest. Let's just start slicing, I think. I expect this one to be an excellent slicer, by the way. And I also expect it to be, you know, just generally speaking, super sharp. So I hope it does not let me down in any way. Let's take one more page, or let's see, just one. So it slices the magazine paper quite nicely, I'd say. Let's go with like 1, 2, 3 pages at the same time. Yeah, so the magazine paper wasn't that much of a challenge. Nice, clean cuts. So that's a good start. Let's go with I don't know, here we have some envelopes. I'm not quite sure what I was thinking when I wanted to slice up an envelope, but let's do it anyway. That's more breaking up like that. So that was kind of strange, just to be honest, but it did slice the envelope. So here we have some post-it notes. Small slicing. Let's take one more. So I guess it slices post-it notes pretty good as well. Let's see if we can get all the stuff up here. Yeah, let's take that away. Let's go with the notebook paper, because that can probably be a bit interesting, perhaps. getting a bit tricky. Well, it does slice the notebook paper fairly well, I'd say. So that was the notebook paper. And last but not least, we have some newspaper. This could be interesting, I guess. Not bad. Let's take one more. So that was the newspaper. So having done newspaper, having done the notebook here, some post-it things, the envelope was kind of random, and the magazine paper. I'd say we have done a fair bit of paper slicing of different kinds of paper, and it will slice paper. So if that is what you're looking for in a knife, then I guess this could be an option to consider of sorts. Thinking about doing some hair shaving now, but I'm not sure how much hair I have on my arms, and I'm not sure I want to put my leg up here on the table, but I might just do that, I think. Give me a second. I guess I should have maybe said something like viewer discretion is advised, but well, here we are. Here we have a leg, not a ton of hair, to be honest, but a bit. So let's try the shaving capabilities of the This is Freedom, and yeah, I guess it's not more to it than to start shaving a bit here. So I guess, not sure how well it can be seen, but it does shave some hair off your legs or arms. And I will say that, I don't shave my legs on a regular basis, but I do get new knives on a regular basis. And when I do like to test the sharpness of the knives, shaving off arm or leg hair. So I just want that to, to be said. But yeah, it will shave your legs, should you want to do that. in the name of science. I'm gonna go and clean this knife now so we can do some more, I wouldn't say maybe more interesting tests with it, but more useful and practical tests of sorts. Okay, let's continue ahead. So we are now looking for a place here to set up the tent, sort of in the middle of the Swedish snowy woods, carrying a backpack with about 35 to 40 kilos of package. The temperature today is minus 11 Celsius. Not too bad, kind of medium cold, I'd say, in a sense. Bolt, are you joining us here? Excellent. So we're gonna set up the tent, and we're gonna set up a small cooking place, and then we're gonna start preparing lunch. So maybe somewhere here, or maybe with some shelter against the wind. Not a lot of wind right now, but one never knows. Yeah, that could actually be a good spot, Bolt. Thank you for peeing over there. Yeah. This is where we will put up the tent. This is a good spot. Yeah, over and out for a few seconds or minutes. Slowly but surely we are setting up the tent. Bolt is resting in the snow, and I'm enjoying this winter wonderland, relaxing from carrying that fully packed kaika over there. So just a short update of the progress. See you in yet another few minutes. So we now have the tent in place, always a good start. Bolt is... Actually, I haven't seen him for a while. Bolt! Bolt, come! There you are. Good. Everything's set. So I'm gonna throw some stuff into the tent, and then we're gonna start making lunch. After all, it is just past 12, so it is definitely lunchtime. I've been up kind of early, so lunch will be good. Wouldn't you agree? Although we might not eat the very same things, do we? Well, I'm gonna give you a small steak, actually. You deserve it. So let's set up the storm kitchen. So it's time to make some lunch. I did bring some fruits and vegetables, but I'm gonna save the fruits and stuff for later because I need something. I want something kind of warm to eat right now. So we're gonna slice up some potatoes. We're gonna start boiling some water. We're gonna slice up a paprika, and then I have a nice piece of meat with me that we're gonna prepare as well. But let's start off with the potatoes. So I'm gonna slice them up in smaller pieces because I want them to boil and get ready, faster. They are actually quite small to begin with, but even so. You can make them like this, and I can eat them with a spoon or something. Just small one. Then we can settle with this, so we have something left for dinner as well. Always good to ration your food like that a bit. Then we have the paprika. I'm not sure if I'm gonna cook the paprika or if I'm gonna eat it the way it is. I think we'll just have to see. Rinse out all these small, what are they called? Kernels? Whatever. The small seeds inside, because we don't want to eat them. Polti, I know you're hungry, but to wait for at least a few minutes. I think it's about minus 12 degrees now, so not a big change in temperature since we arrived. But when you work without gloves like I'm doing right now and you get your fingers wet, it does start to get, slightly cold. Bolt! Nice, going on an adventure again. I think he will come back because he likes food almost as much as I do. Nothing super fancy here, but I mean, functional at the very least. Put it with the potato right now. So I'll have some of that. Okay, You're gonna like this. Come here. Time for the main event. Come here, boy. This you will like, I believe. See if we have some extra fries. So this is quite a large piece of meat. It's gonna be lunch, dinner, maybe a bit for breakfast. So since it's really cold outside, the meat won't go bad in any way. So that is a good thing. Well, take a look at this. Look. See this? Yeah, you like that. So, let's see. Maybe we should actually use some. Give me 1 second. Okay, let's see. Let's go with some semi-decent sizes here. Yeah, you're gonna get one of these pieces, Walt. Don't worry. Don't you worry. One for you, and do I want 2 or 3 for me? Then we have dinner. Or 1.5 for you and 2.5 for me. Yeah, that's gonna be good. I can take a bit thinner slice here. So now we can save some of this meat for later. Just need a bag of sorts for it. There's plenty of meat left. Let's go like this. So let's do that. Let's go with some You're not going to get any seasoning on yours. I'm gonna go with some seasoning on mine. We're gonna, we should probably, let's take a piece of meat before we start with the potatoes and stuff. Just need to find my matches. And where did I put those? I know for a fact I brought them, but I can't fully remember which pocket I put them in. Yeah, here they are. So come on. Now we have fire going over there. Great. Let's put these matches away. That's gonna melt away anyway, so like that. So some really nice olive oil to this. Oops. Yeah, this is going to be pretty nice, Bolt. I assure you. And then some seasoning. Let's give it some... Oh, come on. Kidding me? Let's see. Let's go with some salt. This one is for Bolt. No, wait. Yeah, this one is for Bolt. These ones are for me. He will get some seasoning on his, I don't know. Salt. Oops. Oh shit, that's a lot. Done some black pepper as well. Pretty unevenly distributed, but it is what it is right now, so I'm not too picky, to be honest. There we go. That. We're done with this. Let's see, get this going. So, I have to make it a bit warmer. Should probably put some water boiling after this. Yeah. So let's see. So Bolt, you might have accidentally gotten some snow on your steak, but I don't think you mind about that seasoning, right? Some stuff over here. This. I think it is about time we put these on. Maybe we should change the focus of the camera a bit. Like that instead. I'm gonna put mine here. And I'm gonna put bolts over here. That. I'm not really sure what can be seen, but not too important, I guess. reason why I want to separate these is because I don't want the bolt to get too much, you know, salt or pepper and stuff like that in his piece. Bolt it! Food is ready soon! Smells really good, at least. Bolt, you wanna take a look at your piece? Bolt, come. That one is yours. Yeah? Yeah, food is ready soon. Just stay calm, and we'll eat in a bit. Someone is hungry. Yeah, we both are hungry, Paul. Let's get some more. This is your piece. Not quite there yet. Where did I put this one? Yeah. Damn. You are in for a treat, folks. See. Yeah, these are finished, they're done. At least enough for me. This one is not for me. There we go. There we go. So let's switch the camera back over here instead. Like this, perhaps. Maybe zoom in a bit. So let's see how these pieces of meat turned out. So I did not really make them. I kind of prefer my meat, in general speaking, to be medium or medium rare even. But these turned out to be medium. Well, I mean, it is still a bit pink, ever so slightly pink. So these are mine. This one is Bolt. See, so it's not too hot or anything for him. Okay, Bolt, you get to try the first one. Let's see. Come here, boy. And I get to try the second one. Really, really good stuff. Let's see. We might zoom out a bit. That was actually the opposite. So let's... Here you go. And here I go. So really, really nice lunch. Really, really good. To be honest, I'm not really feeling like making the potatoes and stuff right now. Might grab a paprika though. It's not too bad really. Really cool and juicy paprika. Here you go, Bolt. Come, take it. So working with the This is Freedom for food prep was actually a really nice experience. I think it has to be probably one of my better food prep knives, all in all. Here you go. I mean, we only sliced up a paprika, we sliced some potatoes, The meat processing was really nice actually. Both pre-cooking it and, you know, slicing it up after it was done. I do like the full height grind. I know this was going to be a good grind for food preps. I mean, it's no surprise about that. But it's just a nice knife to work with like this. This is your final piece now, okay? So next up, I'm gonna save the potatoes and stuff for. No, there is seasoning on my hands. I'm gonna save this for later in the afternoon, maybe even evening. I think we can do some. I don't know. What more did I did bring with me? Some tomatoes. Nah, it's gonna have to be for later. I also brought some apples. I guess we could peel an apple, you know, like a test of sorts. Yeah, apple it is. So, oh. I think I'm gonna warm my hands a bit, maybe start a campfire as well. I think that's gonna be better for warming my hands a bit than this. So I guess this food prep segment is now finished, and yeah. It's a nice lunch. Maybe I should clean the knife a bit. It does, you know. This is M390. I'm not worried about, you know, getting any corrosion or rust or anything like that. But I'm still gonna clean it up a bit. Especially if we're gonna peel an apple. It's always nice to do that with a slightly less greasy blade, I'd say. So over and out for now. Time for some coffee. I know I said something about peeling an apple. I'm not entirely sure what I was thinking when I said that, because my hands are kinda cold, to be honest, and this activity is not something I would usually do. But this is YouTube after all, so we do stuff that, well, that is not always 100% logical. So let's peel this apple now as fast as possible, so I don't freeze my hands off. Yeah, and I will say that this knife is actually fairly big. I would have, you know, maybe preferred a slightly smaller blade to peel an apple, but yeah, it is what it is. So let's just start peeling away. the apple is, you know, semi-frozen, and so are my hands as well. So I guess that's a good combo, perhaps. Feels like I'm actually removing small chunks rather than just the actual peel, but that might be due to the fact that it is in a sort of a frozen state of sorts. Not really sure, but I mean, it's not too bad either. You know what, I'm just gonna slice this thing entirely off here. There should be some reason to it all. Do the same here, you know. So here we have a peeled apple. A frozen peeled apple in a frozen hand. Sweet. So while we are still out here freezing to death, no, not really. It's actually not that bad, but it's, you know, I kind of prefer working with gloves on, but not during food prep. Anyway, I brought some oranges with me, blood oranges at that. So let's do some slicing of blood oranges and see how that works out. Not sure if this is really, you know, super visible or anything, but let's go ahead. Come on, you little. There we go. Well, they are blood oranges, but it may not look like it fully, so. Let's do some. I'm just gonna do some really strange random cutting here, so we can see the performance of the edge. I'm not gonna lie, I think that this is probably my new favorite food prep knife. I mean, it is actually pretty insanely nice to work with. Gotta say that. And the full height grind, man. This is potentially my new favorite outdoor kitchen knife, I guess. In this size at least. Now I'm just trying to be a bit foolish and, you know, go for as thin a piece as I can, but not really, you know, useful going that thin, to be honest. Yeah, why not? Super unnecessary, but we're just, you know, testing the cutting capabilities here of sorts. That's why we slice them in all these strange different shapes. So I mean, as you can see, processing this this blood orange, or these two blood oranges, took mere seconds, and yeah, I really like the, you know, the results of sorts. I think this one is now in my top 5 for food prep. Could potentially be the top 1. I need to, you know, think about that a bit more, which are actually my absolute best food preppers. But this one is, damn, is it good for food prepping. Insanely good. Maybe we should actually do some tomato slicing. I mean, now that we're actually at it, slicing a lot of different stuff here again. So let's go for some tomatoes. Why not? Yeah. Just want to put these in a small bag here, so I can have them well, not all of these pieces were really, you know. And what I'm gonna do with this, not sure. These ones I can actually eat. I'm gonna have to eat them soon because it's gonna be frozen solid and in a short while. So let's see. Tomatoes it is. One or two tomatoes perhaps. Give me a second, I need to warm my hands just a bit. Okay, let's do some tomato slicing and then the food prep is over for a while. I need to go for a walk or a run or something. I need to get my body heat up just a tad bit. But let's slice up this, start with this one. And do some different slicing of course. I like the frost sticking to the blade here now. It's let's see, what do we want to do with this one? I don't know for sure. And this knife is insane. Let's go for full. So processing some tomatoes. Whoops, well, it's just some snow. Doesn't matter too much to me. Off you go. So slicing tomatoes, super smooth. This knife is a food prep knife. So far, I'm gonna do some wood stuff with it. I'm gonna do some feathers, some batoning and stuff like that. But right now, I consider this one to be to me, almost a dedicated food prep knife. It's just so nice working with, doing these sorts of tasks. So I'm gonna clean this mess up now, and then I'm gonna warm my hands. I'm gonna go for a bit of a walk here with Bolt, and then we'll see what we come up with next. So guys, the sun is setting. It's actually not that late. It is just 3:30 in the afternoon, but sun is setting early. Still it is getting lighter day by day. I accidentally forgot my power bank, but I decided that it was more interesting to show you guys this, in my opinion, amazing view. This is one of my favorite places to hang out at evenings. This is actually not that close to my campsite, so I have a bit of a walk back, but I did not forget my headlamp, so that is not really an issue of sorts. Bolt, come here. But this view here, we are kind of far up. Not sure how well it will be seen here on the camera, but this is actually quite far up, I'd say. So yeah, it is quite a stunning scenery, I'd say. So I'm gonna spend my remaining the remaining time of the sun here, just chilling, and then we're gonna head back to the campsite, do some dinner, and after that, well, we'll just see what happens, I guess. So yeah, I'm happy I got to show you guys this area. This is a really nice spot. Probably one of my favorite places to hang out. Not long until the sun sets, and it's getting colder by the minute. But boy, is this a nice view. I know I've said that before, but this is just... I live for this. So the sun is most definitely down now. It's 9:05. It is, I believe, around 10 degrees cold, or is it 12 degrees cold? I'm not quite sure, but it sure feels colder than that, despite being not super windy. So I'm trying to, hello Bolt, Bolty, hey boy. So I'm trying to maximize the battery here. I didn't show, doing a lot of batoning or feather sticking, etc. Maybe we can do some now. I do have some battery left, so maybe I can rig this on my tripod and we can do some batoning in the light of the fire. I also have my headlamp on here, so if I put it on like that, I can actually get it. Let's see, if I put it on maximum, yeah, maybe we can do something. I just need to put it on the tripod. Oh, sure feels nice. So I'm gonna rig it on my tripod and see if we can do some feather sticks. Probably not much batoning, but a bit of feather sticking perhaps. That is, a bit mindfulness doing feather sticks, so I guess why not. So maybe we can actually do some light batoning after all. Have managed to get some pieces here, so let's chop this up in smaller pieces. Might have to direct my headlamp a bit, not full strength, but maybe, I don't know. It's difficult with lighting conditions during night time. So this is one hard, solid piece of whatever kind of wood it is. Probably a few nuts in there as well. And frozen. Solid too at that. This is definitely not birch, I can tell you that much. So extra support back there. So I have birch pieces, so this is let's see if we can do this one. Let's do this one too. This is really some improvised review batoning, but we have to make do with what we have, even if it is frozen solid. Put this underneath, risk. Oh, come on, must be some giant knot down there. Yeah, not sure how well it can be seen, but the struggle is real. You do feel the difference, when you try to batone with a with a full height grind knife. That does make for a bit of a difference. But I really wanna get through this piece now, so. Oh man, it's a tough one. How annoying. Yeah. This is not the easiest piece to break for. I want to use a wedge or something to split it now. Maybe if I can get in a smaller piece of wood here and drive it through. I don't think I have any piece like that. Maybe we can make a piece like that. Let's try to, by using this piece here, we can try to make a wedge that we can drive through this other piece of wood. Let's do something like this. Yeah, this could actually be interesting. So this is, wait, which is the piece I'm working on. So this is, holy hell, I can't even find the one. So dark. Yeah, this is the one. So here we have the gap. Let's drive this in here instead. I might actually. I mean, we do get it kind of with us, right? So maybe we should try something, an even bigger piece, and drive it through. Come on. Yeah, there is your problem of this one. But that is a way you can do it, is that you start with the knife. You get a good enough gap and then you drive smaller pieces of wood in, and then you manage to split it open. So that is one way you can do it. So, let's put this one here. Are you okay over there, Bolt? Yep. So, yeah, not the finest campfire I have made, but I mean it is keeping us somewhat warm and comfy for now. Bolt should be visible somewhere. Let's see if I remove. Yeah, there he is. Sorry, didn't mean to blind you, Bolt. Let's lay down there and chill if you want. Yeah, I almost forgot. We were talking about feather sticks as well for a second before, and I haven't done any feather sticks. I don't really have a need right now because I have this fire that is it's not the best fire, but yeah, it's a fire. So anyway, in terms of feathers, let's see if we can get some feathers of these pieces of wood that I have here with me. So we can start with this one. Perhaps lower the camera a tad bit. Late night feathers, huh? Yeah. Yeah, let's see what we can do with this one. Is this visible? I don't know what is visible or not, but we did a small feather there, so let's see if we can make some more. I have no idea if this is going to be, you know, if this can be seen in the camera. I have no idea, but I am making feathers, so if it doesn't show in the camera, maybe you can just perhaps take my word for it. And once again, I just want to say that I love being able to work with gloves. It's so, I mean, it is really freezing cold out here. So, like I did with the food prep earlier today, and also during the dinner time, that was kind of harsh, to be honest. Not super nice, no. So let's see if we can. Oh man, I hope this is visible in some sense. You know, I call this knife for a dedicated kitchen, or not kitchen knife, but a dedicated food prep knife. Not long ago, I mean only hours ago, in fact. But I will have to say that this is not a dedicated kitchen knife or food prep knife. It excels in food prepping, no doubt. But as you can see, it makes some mighty fine feathers. Really, really nice feathers. I think I'd rate this one like probably among, you know, among my better feather sticking knives. So that is quite an achievement, I think, you know, being able to excel in food prep, feather sticks, sure, batoning. I mean, I did one or two of these pieces here, they were kind of extreme for batoning. But the full height, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, the full height grind, it doesn't lend itself super well to batoning. But it's always going to be, you know, technique and the piece of wood you're using, the tree type, etc. You will be able to batone with this knife better than I did right now. I mean, if I were to go home and chop up some pieces of wood, then I would be able to do really nice batoning. But here I had to take, well, what I had. So, but that is, I mean, it is the way it is. Once again, really curly, nice feathers, will start a fire easily. I'm gonna cut this off now. Oops. So this is what you want your feathers to look like when you want to start a fire. You can of course make, you know, really fine feathers if it's difficult. I mean, if you're using a fire steel, I will admit I was cheating. I was using stormproof matches or whatever it's called because I am comfortable when I'm out camping when it's like 17 degrees minus outside. I want things to, you know, go kind of smooth at least. But if you're using a fire steel and a striker or the knife to strike the fire steel, then you might have to make even finer feathers than this, which is of course possible. You can use the spine of the knife for that. Then again, now that I think about it, the spine on this knife is actually rounded, so that could potentially make it difficult getting those really, really fine feathers. But this is really nice. So let's put it in the fire and yeah. I'm gonna see if I can make that kind of really fine feathers using the spine of this knife. Since the spine is rounded, that could pose a problem, but it will be interesting to see what we can do. I kind of have to work at a special angle to get it really right. But it is, as you can see, maybe as you cannot see, holy crap, is the focus bad right now. Do you see that? This, cutting this off, that is good. good stuff for making fire with a fire steel. I'm gonna cut it off here so you can get a better look at it. Or maybe get a better look, I'm not quite sure. You know, like this stuff that you get by using the spine of the knife. Really fine, not even feathers, but yeah, into the fire it goes. So far my thoughts about This is Freedom. Well, I'm gonna say that I am pleasantly surprised, because there was a reason why I waited getting this knife. I mean, it was still long overdue, but the reason why I waited was because I was unsure about the full height grind and the size a bit. I mean, This is Freedom, no, the Classic Freedom, that felt more like a EDC type of, you know, classy, elegant knife in a good size. And for this size, I mean, I could have used maybe, I mean, yeah, I have the Southpaw, and I think that's a really good knife if you want to go larger than the Classic Freedom. But I've got to say that this makes excellent feathers. It excels at food prepping. It is a comfortable knife. I still, now that I've had a knife for a little bit, I would have maybe preferred some jimping here on the spine, to be honest. I know I sometimes complain about knives with jimpings, so I may sound inconsistent, but here I would have preferred the very same fine jimping, but with good, you know, with good, what's it called, traction or whatever, that the Classic Freedom has. I'm not sure about, you know, if I were to say that I wanted this in a non-full height grind, it would probably not be as nice for food prepping as it is. So I think that the knife should have this specific grind. The only time you really have a problem with this grind is for perhaps batoning, which is not super necessarily, in my humble opinion. But it all depends on your preferences, and once again, it will batone quite nicely. I mean, I could probably make a separate video where I take some nice pieces of logs and tree twigs and things and batone at home, for you guys to see that you can batone with a full height grind. So all in all, you know, my final conclusion is that this is, Bolt, what are you doing? Oops. You wanna be in the camera as well? Bolt. Oh, crazy dog. Oh, not crazy, you're a good dog. Good boy. So, where were we? Yeah, final conclusion. Are we in focus? Yeah, I have no idea. But this knife, I do highly recommend it. As always, you do get a super ergonomic knife. You get an impeccable fit and finish, like you do with all knives from TRC, at least in my personal experience. Great steel, M390, love it. Held up well so far, no edge damage. Then again, I mean, I haven't been whacking on stuff and chopping with it. This is not a chopper, absolutely not. I wouldn't recommend chopping with M390 steel to begin with. And with a knife in this size and thickness, spine thickness, chopping is probably not something I mean, you don't get this knife to do that kind of stuff with, right? What more do I have to say? Yeah, I kind of, maybe I should mention, I mean, it is a very comfortable knife, but this glossy finish, if you look at the Apocalypse or the Southpaw, those handle finishes are more matte. This one is a bit more gloss. You do have a texture on the blade here, not on the blade, on the handle, which gives you a bit more grip, but I will say that it can get a bit slick, especially I mean, if you do like I did with the food prep, you got, you know, greasy hands, etc. It will be a bit slippery in your hand, perhaps. Not a major concern, but I guess I should probably mention it. I didn't feel it the same way with the Classic Freedom. Then again, maybe it's different with a smaller knife and how you utilize it and how you use it, and that is why I didn't, you know, think that much about it when I did that review, or when I've used it later on as well. But aside from that, this is, yeah, it is all you can expect from a TRC knife, and I highly recommend it. I'm not gonna do any tip tests, etc. I mean, I could perhaps do one here now. I think it is a stupid test, and I'm quite sure I won't break the tip, even though it is M390. But let's take a look at the tip here. Not easy to do, you know, detailed shots right now here in the middle of the night with really limited light sources. But the tip is not, I mean, it is a thin tip, but it's not, it doesn't look fragile to me in any way. I think it's quite a stout tip, so I would be surprised if I broke this tip by just, you know, taking a piece of wood like this and going at it like this. And now we are doing a tip test. How interesting. So we got a lot of holes in the tree, and we got a fully intact tip here of the knife. So now we have done some more stupid tests as well here. So that's good. Try to throw in as much as possible before we conclude this video review. Yeah, I need to clean this knife a bit, but aside from that, even a dirty knife can be a good looking knife, right? But you will have to work to get a patina on this one, that's for sure. So I think that's gonna be it now. Comfortable, versatile, useful, excellent food prep and feather stick knife. A kind of, yeah, almost do-it-all knife. Do look into it. It will make a good team with the Classic Freedom, and maybe even more so with if you have the Southpaw or the Apocalypse. I mean, this is quite a different design, so maybe something to team up with, you know. An Apocalypse and then a This is Freedom. That's not a bad combo. So I think that's it for now. We're gonna spend some maybe like me and Bolt, we're gonna spend like perhaps, I don't know how many minutes or like an hour, but we're gonna stay here until the fire is semi-burnt out, and then we're gonna hit the bed or the sleeping bag. I'm actually quite tired, so it's been a long day, it's been a nice day, it's been a cold day, but a good night's sleep, yeah, that's something to look forward to. Thank you for watching. Have a great day wherever you are at. Hey Bolt, look at the full moon squeezed in between the branches of the trees. Perfect fit. I think this makes for a good ending to my video review, right? Kinda cool. Yeah.